You are listening to the Smuggler's Galaxy podcast, my favorite podcast to listen to on long flights across the galaxy.
This is the way.
We're wanted men.
Spoken.
Damn, it's been a week. It was only 4 days.
Yeah, I came back with the con crud. A little achy, stuffed nose, just exhausted.
Celebration will do that to you, man.
Yeah, when you're doing 18-hour days of go, 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 go. I mean, Saturday alone, I logged 20,000 steps.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, now I can hear you better. Wrong speakers. I was sitting there going, now I can hear you better. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Celebration's a marathon, man. It is go, 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 go. And out till 2 a.m. some nights, but we were normally bed by midnight. And up at 6, just because that's what your body says. It's time to get up. But
yeah,
we're not here to talk about Celebration this week. We'll talk about that. We got a little bit that we recorded at Celebration. We'll release that next week, and then once we have time to decompress, we'll have one more episode on it, and then we'll move on. But we wanted to put something together real quick, just throw some thoughts down on the first 2 episodes of Obi Wan, and then we'll go from there. How are you enjoying Obi Wan so far, Jason?
I'm loving it. I think it's the best of the prequels and the sequel, the original trilogy and the sequels. Original trilogy. I love seeing Ewan McGregor back as Obi Wan Kenobi. I love. So we're gonna do full spoilers in this discussion.
Yes.
I just want to prep everyone before I continue to speak, because I was about to say something that is a spoiler, and that's your warning. So I'm about to go there, peoples.
Let's do it.
I think they cast the perfect Princess Leia.
Oh my gosh. It took me an episode and a half to get into the Princess Leia. Because I was sitting there watching her and I'm like, God, this girl's a little brat. And then when Obi-Wan looks at her and goes, you remind me of someone, then it's like, don't start crying. And then you realize they cast the perfect girl.
Yeah, Princess Leia would have been a troublemaker as a little one. I mean, she continues making trouble. She makes good trouble.
Yeah.
And so I think, she's precocious. She's outspoken. She speaks her mind. She doesn't really care about beating around the bush. She'll just, if you treat her like crap, she will treat you worse.
Yeah, she's a whippersnapper.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love the interaction, because I just rewatched the first episode and the interaction she had with her cousin. Just quick-witted. She was smart. Everything was. Yeah, they cast the perfect one, and like with the droid, they did. I can think it might have been a young adults novel, Princess Leia novel, and the droid was EY or YO or whatever. They named the droid from the book, so at least they're kind of sticking together with stuff. And she the stuff she's doing in that young, at 10 years old, she in the book they kind of call back to it a little bit, because they'd have to do mountain ranger stuff and outside stuff. So it was kind of cool seeing Alderaan too.
Speaking of droids, that was C-3PO, right?
Well, there were 2 droids. C-3PO was there, and then they had another droid. Huh?
Yeah, he was there.
Right, but then there was another droid when they're
Silver.
Right, that when they're eating, there's she brings her food, and she says, "Thanks, YO," and that's Leia's personal droid.
So is that the droid we see at the beginning of A New Hope as well?
Maybe.
Because there was 2 of them on board the blockade runner.
Oh, dude, It could have been YO.
So,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah, you catch all kinds of stuff that I miss, man, and that's cool.
Well,
I didn't even think of, huh?
Did you pick up on the T-16 Skyhopper?
Oh yeah, man, we were watching that together at like midnight. Yeah, I totally picked up on that. I'm kind of curious if Luke's going to get that back or how Luke gets that back.
Yeah, he has to. I mean, he's playing with it in A New Hope.
Yeah, unless he just buys his own. But it even now you get to see how Uncle Owen is trying to hold him back from going in and making the same mistake his father made and turning into evil. Or actually, they believe he's dead at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing all kinds. What did you think of Riva and of the Inquisitors?
Yeah, Riva's an interesting character because she's ambitious and aggressive, and I didn't like the fact that she has a name compared to the other ones. It's the Grand Inquisitor, the fifth brother. She is the third sister, but the fifth brother's not, like Samuel or anything like that. I kind of felt like they should erase their identity and just become part of the tribe, like a cult, and she should just be third sister, not Riva.
Did they call her by Riva in the?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They call her Riva. I'm interested to see what she's owed, because she said that to the fifth brother. I just want what I'm owed. And it's like, well, what are you owed? What does that mean?
Interesting.
Yeah, she's on a rampage. I mean, did she kill the Grand Inquisitor? I'm not sure what's going on there, because the Grand Inquisitor dies in Rebels.
Right. I don't think she killed him, which kind of messes with you a little bit. And everybody's like, oh no, they retconned Rebels. It's like, no, they didn't. He'll be back. There's no way that they're going to get that guy to play him, a known actor to play him and kill him 2 episodes in. Maybe we won't see him for a little bit, but maybe he'll get better. I don't know. There's got to be a way that they fix him, because it's the same character from Rebels. And with the news from the Ahsoka news, there's no way they're just going to kill off the Grand Inquisitor right now and just be like, Rebels don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, Filoni's involved with all of this stuff, so he's not really involved with the Obi Wan Kenobi show, but I'm sure there's something going on where he's, you can't kill that character. They know what they're doing. He's not dead yet.
No, not dead yet.
Yeah, I thought he was a really well developed character. Like, he's one step ahead of everyone. He's calm and patient. He's calculating. And Riva is the one that's getting in the way and becoming a problem.
You felt it, because I rewatched when they're in the saloon, and the Grand Inquisitor's got everything under control, and has everything right where he wants him, and then she grabs that knife and throws it at the saloon owner, and then the Jedi stops it. You could just see everybody's, the Grand Inquisitor and the fifth brother, they were basically like, you little bitch, why'd you do that? We had it ready to go, and you've got to jump in and do your thing, mess everything up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think and there's something going on with her, and I think you had a pretty good theory on why she disappears. Share that theory. As far as she disappears. Her and Darth Vader's rage. What's Darth Vader gonna do? What's your theory? What's gonna happen to her?
Yeah, I was just kind of speculating how this might end, and it's going to be a big duel between Obi Wan and Darth Vader, and I'm wondering if Riva's trying to what she's trying to do is win favor of the Emperor and try to do, because this is what happened in Shadow of the Empire. That book from way back, Shizor was trying to win favor of the Emperor and make Darth Vader look like a fool. So if she could do the one thing that Anakin couldn't do, or Darth Vader, kill Obi-Wan Kenobi, maybe she thinks she'll become the apprentice, and maybe that's what she thinks is owed to her, is to become part of the Sith. And in the end, I'm wondering if Darth Vader takes out his rage on Riva for trying to hurt an old friend, but also trying to usurp him. and he takes care of Riva and says, "Get the hell out of here, Obi Wan," because they're still good in him. And when that happens, that fits into a New Hope timeline when he says, "You should not have come back. You should not have come back because I let you go." If that
Wow.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me speculating.
Yeah.
My brain working in the middle of the night.
Well, your brain does some good work in the middle of the night, man.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm always happy when I speculate, but I'm even more surprised when things don't go that way because I always like the unexpected.
Yeah.
But what did you think? What did you think of Needles?
I knew he was. Well, they had already speculated or already kind of teased that he was in it. I was surprised that he was that prominent that quick and had I think Flea is a good actor because he always plays to what he knows, and he was good in Back to the Future, and I think he's good in this, just playing a bad guy, playing that jerk role, and he played it pretty good.
Yeah. What about Kumail Nanjiani as the fake Jedi?
Oh, that was awesome. He was so funny. Because you're watching it and he gets on the comm and he's like, "This is a Jedi mind trick." And you're like, wait a minute, Jedis don't say that. He had a whole system set up, and it was good to see him kind of redeem himself to help Obi Wan at least get a jump on the get a jump on Riva. I don't know. I hope he kind of comes back later. There's a call back to him. He didn't die, right? They just kind of looked into his mind probe, did a mind probe and left him alone, right?
Yeah, Riva threw him against the wall and then she took off to go find Kenobi. So he's still out there living. If they can bring him back if they want to. Yeah,
I think he was. I kind of like when they do that where it's not it's like right, like what they did with the chick from Mandalorian. It's they're pushing the limits of it being over the top, but it's like right there, and they're throttling it back just enough to give you that comedy relief, but it's not Jar Jar.
Right. Great. I also thought I think this is an Easter egg, and I'm surprised no one's pointed this out yet. At least maybe I've just been at the convention because I didn't even know Harrison Ford was there at the convention until later that afternoon. I think you were the one that told me. But there's that scene where Obi Wan is walking into that spice facility and they're making all the spices. He's got goggles and a face mask, and those goggles and face mask looks just like the original Macquarie art when Darth Vader is facing off with Luke Skywalker. It's a very famous shot with Luke Skywalker wearing a face mask and a respirator, and that looks a lot like what Obi Wan's wearing.
Dude, I would not put it past them to do stuff like that because, even if Dave Filoni's not writing it, he's there in the room. I'm sure he's got his bit of input, and he probably went, "Hey, if we're going to do goggles and a mask, let's pull it from this and give the fans a little Easter egg."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of Easter eggs, and we just haven't found them all yet. That's, I think, one of the things with, they may have learned from Rise of Skywalker. They're like, we're going to give you guys Easter eggs, but we're going to make you work for them too.
I didn't realize that one of the bounty hunters was like a velociraptor. That was kind of funny. And then I'm not sure that was Forlom because he dies pretty easily.
Yeah, they were saying that was not Forlom. I heard somebody say that wasn't Forlom, or somebody said, "Yeah, Forlom is not. That isn't Forlom."
Yeah,
I was kind of hoping that we would see Boba Fett, because they were saying bounty hunters in the trailers. You kept hearing them say bounty hunters, but it was just bounty hunters that were on that planet that they were on.
Right.
So, he wouldn't have been, if he wasn't on planet, you would have never seen him.
Right.
I was noticing today when I was rewatching it and thinking, go back to all the trailers, everything we've seen were in the first two shows.
Everything but that one shot, I think, with Obi Wan. It was like the last teaser trailer where he starts. There was that shot where his face was showing so much different emotions all at once.
Yeah,
that one hasn't appeared yet, and we haven't had the shot of Darth Vader assembling himself.
Oh yeah, but I mean the majority of the stuff
But
that
everything else, yeah.
yeah, they've so that's kind of cool. There's a lot. There's 4 more episodes we hadn't seen anything from.
Right.
So I mean, I'm enjoying it. Uh, yeah, I really dig the Easter eggs. I dig the storyline. The girl playing Leia. I'm kind of curious how much they're going to play into, how many more episodes do we have with him and Leia running around the underbelly of Star Wars? This may also be a way we get to see the underbelly of Star Wars too.
Well,
Without going, huh?
Yeah, I don't think, to answer your question, I don't know if he's going to be running around with Leia, but I don't think he can go back to Tatooine until he takes care of Reva,
Yeah,
because then he'd be exposing Luke by going back.
that's true.
I also like that, it's 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. I get the feeling that Qui-Gon Jinn has talked to Obi Wan, but Obi Wan has removed himself from the Force and has closed himself off. That the channel that he once had with Qui-Gon is gone. I would suspect that it's been maybe like 8 years, maybe longer, since he's last used the Force.
They did a really good job of kind of giving that feel, because Obi-Wan gets his butt kicked by the mercenaries, and then Leia is like, Jedis don't bleed, which is a kind of a callback. And also there was another callback. You'd caught this when he opens up the cell door and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm Obi-Wan, I'm here to rescue you.
Yep.
So there's a lot of, go ahead.
No.
Yeah,
Keep
there's
going.
a lot of callbacks. And then I think to me, there's also a plot hole, but then I was talking to Clifton and he's like, which one? As far as with Leia and Obi-Wan and Ben's relationship, or knowing him, because when in A New Hope, when she's like, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. To me, a 10-year-old, if you went on this adventure with this guy and you heard him called Obi-Wan, you'd remember that, unless they only called him Ben. I'd have to rewatch the second episode, and I hadn't gotten that far yet.
Yeah, does he introduce himself as Ben Kenobi or just Ben?
Yeah. If it's just Ben and she never hears the name Obi-Wan, I could see why she wouldn't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. I'm not really worried about that, though. I don't know why.
I'm not either. I just thought it was an interesting plot hole that
Yep.
they could be leaving open. Oh, what?
It was also interesting as for a character, Obi-Wan as a character, I should say, how he was this confident, maybe sometimes arrogant, like he would just jump down from rafters surrounded by battle droids and in front of General Grievous and just go, hello there, like, hey, how's it going? Just drop it in. That Obi-Wan is not here at all. He's not present. It's interesting to see him fight with his hands, with a blaster. Again, that's not the Obi-Wan we're used to. So I really like how he is at his worst. He's got a hole he's got to climb out of. He struggled to use the Force to save Leia. I'm really digging that whole aspect of the show.
Yeah, he's definitely, you could tell he's a broken man, especially with his, in the dreams, the flashback sequences of Qui-Gon passing, dying in his arms, and had the final battle between him and Anakin and Padme. So, I mean, you could tell he's still haunted by all these things. And so, yeah, it just turns into him being a broken man. And especially if he's lost contact with the Force, it's a different feel for Obi-Wan. And I'm really curious what brings him back into the New Hope Obi-Wan that we see.
He's suffering from PTSD.
Yeah.
He's having flashbacks and nightmares, like you're saying. And he's not really finding value in himself. He's living in a cave. In A New Hope, we see that he's got his own hut. He's kind of moved up in the world, but for now, he's living in, like I said, a cave. It's at his worst. He's not really, I don't know. He's not at his best.
Yeah, you could.
I think the cave represents how he sees himself.
Yeah, and you could see how, like, even the Jawa and Bail Organa are both like talking down to him. Even Bail was like, man, what happened to you? And the Jawa keeps telling him, like, dude, you stink. You need to, you want some soap? So you could just tell he's just broken. A broken man after 10 years.
Also, as I'm just thinking, like, how does Reva know Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader? Because that's a secret that very few people know about.
Yeah, that really pissed.
That has to be something that the Emperor told her.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That there's something there, and that whole sequence pissed me off, man. It just really irked me because we had seen all this buildup, or we thought it was going to be all this buildup, and it was going to be another Ahsoka type battle where Ahsoka just hits her mid battle. That's Anakin, and then it just is the same. Basically, she's a narcissist, dude, because that's what narcissists do. I mean, boom, I got a secret, and I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not going to let you discover it because I'm going to piss you off and get you to come out, and I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to tell you something that's going to piss you off, and I think that's why she did it.
Yeah, she's on a rampage. She's an interesting character. It was thinking of Reva and Celebration. It was interesting to see her costume because it seemed cheaper than I would have expected for a movie. It just seemed like something like it seemed like cosplay. It didn't seem like millions of dollars went into the costume, which was kind of interesting. But that's just a tangent. Never mind.
I thought dude. Every time I see costumes in person, I'm just not impressed with them because they're not made to. They're made to look good on TV. They're not made to look good in person, and you could tell where they skimped out on some stuff when you see the stuff in person.
What did you think of a live action Fifth Brother?
Yeah, he was all right. I think I was talking to a Fifth Brother cosplayer about it, and he said he wants to see more sinisterness. He wants to see him sinister. He wants to see some meanness out of him instead of somebody just, oh yeah, I'm an Inquisitor. He wants to get him. He wants to watch him get mean, and then we can have a better understanding of it. I think they're focusing too much on Reva, which even on the toys, they're focusing on Reva, which I don't understand. I think because that new Hasbro lightsaber that they've released for Hasbro Pulse, they did her lightsaber. If you want to make a professional, a lightsaber that's going to work, they should have done the Inquisitor's lightsaber. Because if it was the Inquisitor's lightsaber, I probably would have thought about it. With it being Reaver's lightsaber, I'm like, no, it's not even worth it. No, I don't want
it. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's still early in the show. We still have 4 episodes, and if you listen to Ewan McGregor at Celebration, he was talking about 7 through 10. So who knows?
He wants to do another season. So I depending on where they leave this season, I'm curious because I would like to see this go all the way to the start of A New Hope. I would like to see, him some kind of way. I was going to say get the message, but you don't want to get that then you're in A New Hope. But, right to something like that, or maybe, now I know it, to where you see him and Luke, like the start of that interaction where he's like, following Luke or keeping an eye on Luke when the Tusken Raiders attack. And that's where we end the season. The series. I think that'd be awesome.
Like a montage over time. This is what happens. He gets older. I thought he would have more gray hair because in episode 3 he's got a little gray hair on the temple.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't seem to have it as much here in this show.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I'd have to go back and see episode 3. You think that they would adjust that, but maybe he found some hair dye.
Maybe.
I don't know. I thought it was funny going back to like the interaction with him and the Jawa where his evaporator dies down and the Jawa, he's like, well, I lost a circuit board, and the Jawa's like, oh, I've got something for you, and he's like, if you're gonna steal my parts and then sell them back to me,
at least clean them.
Yeah. So you kind of get the feel for how Jawas work, which is kind of cool, where they seem to be focusing on Jawas the last few shows, with Obi Wan and Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett type things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really digging the show, and it was great to be on Alderaan, and it's kind of sad to think it's not going to be there in the next 8 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be gone.
Yep, it'll be bye-bye. What did you think of the Grand Inquisitor?
I liked him a lot. I liked the calculation, the calmness. He's got a job to do, and he kind of reminded me of what's the character's name and what's the actor's name from Inglourious Bastards, the one that was hunting.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, he's just calm. He's one step ahead. He knows that the person's in that room. He gets off the ship and he just walks into the bar because he's like, he's here and I'm going to find him. It's Riva that really, her action of throwing a knife called him out and spawned him to action. And they probably could have had him right then and there if Riva wasn't as aggressive and loose cannon as she was.
Yeah, dude, that guy from Inglourious Bastards. There you go. That's exactly it. I think maybe because what I heard was when they were talking to, what's the guy's name? Rupert Friend, the guy who plays the Grand Inquisitor. He didn't watch any Rebels and he did his own spin on the Grand Inquisitor. So maybe that's what they did.
It's possible.
Because I was not happy with the look of the Grand Inquisitor, but I'm like, let me see the acting job he does, and he nailed it. And you forget about the look when he starts talking.
This is his name, Hans something, Hans Vizsla. It's pre-Vizsla.
Yeah,
because his job is to hunt Jewish people in that movie, and the Inquisitor's job is to hunt Jedi. So there is some similarities there. So I really like the Inquisitor. It'd be interesting to see if he becomes a mod. And I don't want them leaning on that too much, even though, it's part of Star Wars lore. Luke Skywalker has a fake hand, and I don't know. It's just, there needs to be consequences. And if people can just cut the hand off and then throw on a new hand, you got to use that sparingly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that because people never die in Star Wars. They always come back. They always are fixed and come back.
Yeah.
So like you said, there's no consequences because look at like Cobb Vanth. We think he dies and then he's in the back to tank at the end of Book of Boba Fett. Cobb Vanth. So yeah, Star Wars people need to die.
Yep. There needs to be consequences. You don't want this to turn into a soap opera.
No. Oh, what else? Everything. I'm trying. Where did they leave in the second episode? Are they running still?
Yeah, they're still running. Obi Wan was on the ship. The ship took off, and Riva was on the platform screaming at him.
Oh, yeah.
Anakin was still alive. Anakin this, and he's tearing up because it's breaking his heart to learn that his friend is suffering. And we cut to the back to tank, where Darth Vader opens his eyes and he realizes, I interpreted it as there was a connection in the Force. He realizes that Ben Kenobi is still out there and he's been found. And he felt a disturbance in the Force, I would say.
Right. Yeah, you're right. It did feel like all of a sudden Obi Wan opened himself up to the Force or released it, and yeah, Anakin felt, Darth Vader felt him. So let's see what happens with that because now they're going. Obi-Wan has to trust, that the fake Jedi, Obi-Wan's trusting him. So with his life, because the fake Jedi was like, go to this platform and enter this code and it'll take you there. And then these people will be there to help you. And Ben was like, what do you mean? And the guy was like, Ben was like, I don't trust you. And he's like, what choice do you have? So the fake Jedi's got to come back.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, I'd be fine if he doesn't come back, but at the same time, if he comes back, that'd be fine too.
Yeah, exactly. It's a character that I think like you said, he's played his role, played his part, but yeah, it'd be really cool to see him again. But it could be just like the Amy Sedaris.
Sedaris.
her character.
Pelimoto.
Yeah, it could be like her character in Mandalorian, where when you need that comic relief, they show up.
She was way shorter than I realized.
Yeah.
Seeing that costume, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's as small as my daughter.
That
Teeny tiny.
that Mandalorian experience was awesome, man. Yeah, that was well worth I didn't have to wait that long. You didn't have to wait any time, but
No.
it was, yeah.
I'm editing my videos now for YouTube. I'll have day 1 done soon, and then eventually I'll get to day 4. Well, I guess this is day 0. I'll get to day 4, which has the Mandalorian experience and the Rancho Obi Wan.
Oh, so you were able to get in the Rancho?
Yeah, that was awesome too. They had the Micro Machine hard copy for Boba Fett, the Boba Fett playset in there. I was like, oh, I'm jealous about that.
Wow. Was that in Gus's collection, part of Gus's collection?
No, it was Vic and what was her name? Lori. I'm sorry, I didn't take note. I have it on video. I was just enchanted by it.
Yeah, I just thought that there was only 3 collections in there. I didn't realize they had more.
There was 4 collections in there.
Wow. Because I knew it had been it was Steve's, Gus's, and Duncan's.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize they had a 4th one in there. Wow.
Yes. What did I say a few seconds ago? What's his name? Vic?
Yeah.
Vic and Laura or something like that. I mean, no disrespect. I'm just not myself right now. There's brain fog.
Dude, it's been a great weekend. You kind of kept me in check though, because I'd have been one of those guys out till 2-3 in the morning, and it was kind of like, I've got to get my thoughts together about Celebration right now. It's a little bit of a, I don't want to say downer is not the right term, but it just, I don't know. It didn't feel the same as 17. Not that I didn't enjoy myself. 17, I think, was just over the top for me.
Really?
Even though I had a good time. Saturday and Sunday were great. Thursday, Friday were, a little bit of a downer, but I think it made up for it on Saturday.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know if it was just maybe room sales, because when, in 17, everything was new.
Oh.
And it was my first time seeing it. And I was talking to my son this morning, and he goes, well, you hyped this shit up for 6 months.
Yeah, that's true too.
And yes, I don't get me wrong. I can't wait for it to come, when it's back stateside, because with it being in London, there's no way in heck I'm going, because I was looking at flights and it's $1,200 for flights right now, just for the flight. So there's no way. And I have no clue what London hotels cost. So maybe, give it 2 years, let it cool down, and then we can start planning for, hopefully it'll be in Orlando in a year or 2 or 3 years. And, Celebration's always fun. Don't get me wrong. I think what I do is I kick myself, because I keep like, dude, you got to get off the sales floor. You got to go sit down in the middle of the things and just enjoy it. And I'm like, no, I got to be on the floor. I got to be doing this, and you never stop to just take it all in. And I kick myself every time for not just stopping and taking it all in.
Yeah, I guess you had to work into your groove, which you found later into the second half of your trip. Yeah,
I think, Saturday is when I found it, and I'm like, I'm just going to go around and then just people watch, and it took me 2 days to get that out of my system. And I think it was part of the fact that, you're like, I'd really like to get away from Celebration, but because it was in California, but it's like everything I wanted to do was an hour car ride, and which meant a $50-$60 Uber tab one way. And I didn't want to get out and do something and then have to rush back to the con, and it take 2 hours to get back. So I'm just,
right.
You're working it in your head, but as far as California goes, I'd love to get back out there and visit, because what I want to do is, I want to go see all the Back to the Future things, because there's a ton of that stuff still out there, and go see the beach or go see the Hollywood sign. I want to do the tourist trap stuff, but there was just no time for that.
No time for any of that.
Yeah. So I think I learned a lesson that, either take a week and take 2 days and take a couple of days beforehand and sightsee, or just one day at the con, just take Friday and just be like, all right, I'm going to take Friday off from the con and go sightsee or something.
Yeah, rent a car would be cheaper than Ubering everywhere.
Yeah. And you're just not, you know how it is. You're just not thinking that way. But I think every con, you got to develop you got to develop a strategy, and you've got a strategy, and it keeps evolving. And, I think I learned that, next year, the next celebration, it's okay to skip a day. You're going to miss something, or go do some sightseeing and then come back later in the day or whatever. Make a plan to where you're not in celebration for 5 days, even though it's awesome.
Yeah, I think the lesson that I learned is that I want to stay closer to the con itself, because we were pretty far, and it would have been advantageous for me to just get away for a couple hours, recuperate, and then go back, because 18-hour days are long days. And if I had like a 1 to 3 where I just went to the hotel and just put my feet up, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. I think we can come up with a combination of something next go round. At least stay closer to where it's only like a 5-minute walk instead of a 25-minute walk.
Yep.
Plus, it was also cool. I was very envious of the people who had hotel rooms on site, because they were just like, all right, I'm going, I got to run some stuff up to my hotel room. I'll be back in 30 minutes.
Yeah, you couldn't do that. You had to carry everything, and it got heavy.
Yeah.
My back was hurting at a couple points.
Yeah. Even with having the club table, you didn't want to leave like really, really important stuff back there, even though you trusted the people, but you hate to leave a very nice piece and it disappear.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's a bummer. I'm bummed that it's in London next year, but I'm also glad because they only give you, number one, it's Easter weekend, and when you look at the dates, it's Friday to Monday, which doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe it doesn't cut into tea time.
Maybe
having it over the weekend. I don't know. That was a joke.
Maybe it's in London. I thought the same thing. I thought maybe it was a London thing and not a maybe
Cheers.
that's how they do. Yeah, man. Hey, mate. Maybe
Right,
that's how
we
they
drive on the wrong side of the road, and we have conventions on these days.
Right. This is how we do it.
Bloody hell.
I'd love to go. Don't get me wrong, but if I did go, it would be a week and a half trip, and it'd be more than just celebration, especially to go to London.
No, I'm all good with it being in London, and I'm all good with not going. Let the people in Europe enjoy themselves. I'm going to stay here and put my feet up and enjoy the year off from having to go to that con.
Yeah, I'll enjoy the like you said, and then we'll go to some of the club sponsored events.
I'm so tired. Like, I'm a little Star Wars out too. Like, I'm okay not having because I'm going to the lake this weekend. I'm gonna miss toy hunting at the Powder Springs thing, so I'm kind of excited with the fact that I'm not doing that I can just not have to go and be somewhere, that I could just put my feet up and take a nap in the day if I wanted to.
Yeah. Last night, what time did you get to bed last night?
I got to bed around 11.
Okay, I was up till about 12:30. I decided I've been wanting a cigar all weekend, so I did a cigar and had a beer, and it was about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Watched some Rebels, and
You were a bachelor last night.
I was batching it. Yeah, my wife's up at her parents' lake house right now, so I'm waiting on her to get back. She hasn't texted me to say when she was coming home, so we'll see.
The other thing that surprised me is that California has a severe skunk problem.
Yeah.
It's like everywhere you go, there's skunks.
We're like, damn, man, how many skunks you got? Wow. I mean, like
Florida has a problem with pythons in the Everglades, and they let people go out and hunt the pythons. They should do that and let people hunt the skunks in California.
Right. Oh man. Dude, did you notice that when we were going back to the hotel on Sunday morning, there was a couple, one that had a baby with them, and like the dad came up to the mom and like handed her a joint, and then she, he was dragging behind, and then it was a cigarette. I'm assuming it was a joint, but he handed it to the mom, and then the mom went behind him and she started pushing the stroller, and she's going to go take a couple of tokes.
No.
Yeah. It was, the skunk problem and the homeless problem kind of freaked me out a little bit down there. Not freaked me out, but I'm just not used to it. You're not being out in the open like it is. And, it's getting close to 8, 9 o'clock, getting close to sundown. And they're the homeless guys getting his bed ready, in front of CVS. And I'm just like, wow, I'm not used to seeing that.
Yeah, it's a sad problem.
Yeah. But other than that, dude, California was freaking beautiful. The weather was great. There's not a whole lot I can complain. There's no complaining, but tax being like $6 a gallon, that kind of sucked.
Tax?
I mean, gas.
Oh, gas.
Yeah, gas was like $6-7 an hour. And I didn't think, I was like expecting things to be a lot more expensive. The only like real shock I had was the McDonald's at the airport was like $9 for a value meal, but we were at the airport.
Exactly. You can't go anywhere else. You have to eat here, and we're going to charge what we want. It's always that way. Even Starbucks is like $1.50 higher than normal.
Yeah, but
at an airport. Yeah,
we found that there's this little diner place called Coco's that we found, that I thought that was insanely cheap. You're getting like this big meal for $15, which I'm like, that's like Georgia prices. So it was fun. I enjoyed it. I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to be back at Celebration. I think I'm just going to have to start taking my time with it, which I do it. Like I said, every convention, I'm like, man, I need to start taking more time. And then you're just like, I got to get on the sales floor and look and see what people are selling. And it sucks. It feels like every time you're like, I need to change this and develop it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess Celebrations is a conversation for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, we'll save it. We'll save the rest of it for a couple of weeks. I'll get some more thoughts.
So next week is live from Celebration.
Yep.
And then the following week is kind of like an overview of Celebration.
Yep. And then we'll talk some more Kenobi, and then talk some more Celebration in a couple of weeks.
Then Andor comes out in August.
Oh my God, dude. There's going to be so much good stuff.
Bad Batch comes out the fall, and Mandalorian comes out in February.
And we got Tales of the Jedi coming out soon too.
You want to talk?
Huh?
No, go ahead.
No, you're talking about being Star Wars out now. Just wait.
No, I think it was just my body's tired. I'm tired mentally.
Yeah.
I think that's like, I'm not like quitting Star Wars.
No, you do have to take a break every now and again, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, take a few days off and just take a breather.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man. But I hope you feel better, dude.
Thanks. I'm sure I will. It's just the stupid con crud.
Yeah, it always happens, man. And you're around that many people. We were on a plane for 4 hours each way, and you always get a little bit itchy and scratchy after a con.
You work your body really, really hard, and it just kind of wears down a little bit, and it makes you susceptible to bugs and flus and stuff like that. So I just got a stuffy nose and a little ache here and there, but I'm fine.
Awesome. Well, cool.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. I gotta do the spiel, don't I?
Yeah, do the spiel.
See if I can find it.
You got to find it.
Here it is. Thank you for listening to Smugglers Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show anywhere you listen to the podcast. It really helps us out and points people to our show. Follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Send us an email or message us. We love feedback and we'd love to make you part of the show. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you to Alfonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo. You can find him at Puerto Rico Star Wars on Facebook, and to Levi Waterhouse. Thank you for the music. Hasbro re-release VC66. #vote with your wallet. Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collecting community. This is the way.
This is the way.